Hi guys, you alright? So I'm just going to have a little chat with you following on from yesterday's video, if that's alright today. It's a lovely night tonight. Just out for a nice walk down the canal. So what I was going to talk to you about is associations within anxiety. And you know, the things I associate with either good or bad things. And the way it makes me feel, and kind of a little tie-in with the video that I did yesterday about the fear of panic attacks. The association doesn't always go with, you know, it doesn't always mean the fear of a panic attack, but the association with a fear or a certain place or a certain time that got me close to one, or you know, I thought about, you know, I didn't feel very well, or I felt dodgy, or I felt like I was going to have a panic attack. That's the link between the two videos. So yeah, I'll just go through a few different things that I associate with different things, if that's all right. Okay, so I'm going to start with something that's obviously big for me, and I've spoke about it before. But it's my dizziness and the associations that I've got with my dizziness. Now there's a few different things. There's the heat. That's one thing that makes me dizzy, and you know, whenever it's a hot period of time, I've never been a massive fan of the heat anyway, but you know, it always gives me a sense of panic leading into it. I try and stay out of it. I try and drink as much water, but then I get frustrated because it still makes me dizzy, and I'm drinking and I'm doing the right things, and I still get frustrated with it. Swimming's one at the moment that I've started associating my dizziness with. Started swimming to, you know, try and make myself better, try and be a bit more healthier, and every time I came out the pool I'd get a sense of dizziness. Now, I know that it's not dizziness linked to my anxiety. I know that it's, you know, the pressure of the water and how fast I get out of the water and how dehydrated I am, and, you know, I know these things, but the thought now of going swimming freaks me out because I think I'm going to be dizzy, and I hate being dizzy. You know, it's one of those big things in my life, in my mental health state, that I just can't cope with. So that's another big one. And then the other one is mornings, obviously, because it's my worst period. It's my worst time of day, and I do often get quite dizzy when I first wake up. So going to bed, I worry already about the mornings. And then, you know, it doesn't happen every day, but I'm the kind of person that can wake up feeling fine and say to myself, hey, you're feeling fine, and then instantly I don't feel fine. So yeah, dizziness in the mornings, and the fear of the dizziness in the mornings is my association with that. Okay, so another big association that I've got is with travel, and specifically traveling abroad. Over the last few years I've wanted to travel more. I've wanted to see more of the world. You know, I want to relax, I want to be with my family and, you know, do things. Now there's been a couple of times in the past, notably Sardinia, and a recent trip I booked to the Balkan states, where things went a bit tits up. And I'm going to do a video on each of those two because they're quite important parts of my life and my growth. So I'm going to do videos on each of those, but the main gist of it was with the association side of things, being far away from home, being, you know, far away from facilities. Sad to say it, but, you know, bars and beer. It was a big thing, you know, being further away from, you know, how I wanted to be with in those situations. But now I can't book things, I can't look forward to things without the feeling of fear, without the feeling of I'm going to have a panic attack in the middle of nowhere. There's not going to be resources for ambulances and hospitals and stuff like that. You know, deep down I know it's not going to happen, which is the most frustrating thing. But yeah, I got a fear of going abroad, and it's not a fear of getting on a plane, it's not a fear of, you know, being somewhere else. It's just a fear of the whole facilities thing, and, you know, being away from the norm, I think. So that's a big one. So yeah, I think they're mainly the bad ones. You know, I associate being at work with feeling trapped and feeling low, so that's another one. Like I said, mornings is a big one. Sorry if this video is dragging on a bit, guys, and you're seeing my face a bit more than you want to, but I just want to quickly just flip that on its head and just talk about the things that, the associations that I've got that make me feel good. Now, some of these are bad habits, you know, I'm not stupid enough not to admit that, but it's all linked together. So obviously a big one of them is the beer side of things. The going to a bar, the ordering the pint, the sitting down, the chilling out, the drinking it, you know, leaving the pub. It's all, the whole experience of that for me is a feeling of feeling good, which is why I do it, which is why I don't, you know, I don't sit on a park bench and neck a bottle of vodka. That's not me. It's, for me, it's the whole experience of doing the whole buying, ordering, drinking. And I know it's, you know, I know it's not good, and sometimes it's early, and, you know, sometimes it's in inconvenient times, but the fact that it makes me feel good while I'm doing it is enough to give me, you know, the endorphins or whatever, the dopamine hit that I need. So that's why I do that. And then lastly, before I bore you far too much, it's sleep, and sleeping during the day and sleeping for far too much time. And I kind of shut off when I'm sleeping, and I know that's obvious, but I do. And you know, when you have crappy, shitty feelings and all you need to do is just relax, sleep's the best thing for it. So sleeping at weird times and sleeping for far too much is one of my bad habits. So I know that was a bit of a longer video, and, you know, I hope you've stayed to the end to watch it all, because there might be some interesting facts that you know, that you click with. And in the comments, if there's anything that you've got an association with, or, you know, a time or a place or something, a moment, anything like that, just write it in, and you know, we'll have a chat about it and see if there's similarities. But if not, thanks again for watching. Please share and like and subscribe to my YouTube page. Just proves that people are watching me, and it keeps me motivated to do it. So thanks again. Cheers.